do it. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here this morning. Fiscal Court, it's good to see you guys. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, call the roll, please.
Master Combs. Master Barger. Here. Master Tudor.
Here.
Master Buckin.
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. Is Mike Johnson not here? All right, so if you all will, bow your heads. I'll lead us in a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Lord, thank you for all the many blessings that you give us each and every day. Lord, just be with us through this time of this meeting. Let us just always have you in our decisions. Lord, just let us make the best decisions that we can for our community, no matter where we're in fiscal court or we're at in our community. Keep us safe, keep everybody safe with the holidays coming up, with their travels. Lord, and just always let us shine your light no matter where we go. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 This time, Sheriff, if you will.
Would please rise, face our flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Thanks, Sheriff. Guys, I know we got the minutes out to you a little late this meeting. If you all had a chance, hopefully y'all had a chance to look over those. And if y'all accept those, I need a motion, a second to approve.
So move. Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Master Barger. Yes. Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Buckin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, Treasurer's Report. Glenna, good morning.
Good morning. You should have your, in your Dropbox, the Treasurer's Report. And as of 10/31/2017, our unencumbered cash balance is $4,954,791.01. 4 months into the fiscal year, our general fund revenues are at 38.4% and our expenditures are at 23.9%. Our road fund revenues are at 48.9% and our expenditures are at 19.2%. Our jail fund revenues are at 43.5% and our expenditures are at 32.6%. CSEP fund, our revenues are at 6.4%, our expenditures at 5.5%. 911 fund, our revenues are at 55.5% and our expenditures are at 26.1%. 4 months into the year, expenditures should be approximately 34%. So our highest expenditures is the jail fund at 32.6%. So we're doing good, right on track. While I'm up here this morning, we are receiving in the fire trucks today. So you will see there is, we have a check coming from the CSEP fund for $541,980. Then you will also see a check coming from the general fund, which is our portion of it, for $418,754. We are going to pay this out of our general fund, and we have the checks cut to give to the company today as they deliver the trucks. We have also been talking with CAECO about securing the funding, the loan for the $418,000. Just got off the phone with them, and they have a resolution that we're going to put through court today, just allowing us to start that process to get going. They have us an interest rate with PNC Bank for 3.1%, locked in for 10 years. We did also look at the bonding, if we could do it through bonding. There was 2 reasons that they felt like that the loan was better. The first reason being that you cannot pay off the bonding early. It has a 10-year no payoff, so you could not pay it off early. With the bank loan, you can. There's a 3-year that we can't pay it off, but after that, we can pay it off. We can't have the money, we can go ahead and pay the loan off. Also, with the loan, there's no cost of issuance. If you go the bonding route, there's a cost of approximately $12,000 to $15,000. So they felt like that the bank loan would be better. It's going to be through PNC, and they will be getting that documentation to us.
Before we start discussion, if you'll just hang tight there, Glenna, and let's go ahead and amend the agenda for Resolution 1733. Okay. So if we can, I would like to amend the agenda. I need a motion, a second.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll.
Master Barger. Yes. Master Tudor.
Yes.
Master Buckin.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank you, Glenna.
No problem.
So basically, guys, this Resolution 1733 allows me the authority to sign all the appropriate documents for the lease It is considered a lease. I think it's more a technicality with the way government statutes are written. It's really not a lease.
It works just like a loan,
It
but
works
it's called
just
a
like a
lease.
loan, so we'll actually be owning this truck at the end. The interest rate is fixed, which you might have said that a minute ago, at 3.10%, and that is fixed for 10 years, so it actually is a good rate for this. So I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1733.
Move we approve resolution 1733.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, call the roll.
Mr. Barger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Glenn, I appreciate it.
Hey, before we go on, I was up in the office a week or so ago, and actually I was just taking up space in the judge's office. They were out, but it just so happened while I was there working on trying to get my laptop fixed, the judge came back, had auditors with him, and happened to be a good day to be up there. So I got to sit in on the 2017 audit for the county. And it came out really, really, really good. And Glenn, I wanted to pat you on the back while you were up. You sit down too fast. I wanted to pat you on the back while you were up here. There was no findings. Everything was really great, and I was impressed with that, the way that they did that and how that turned out and how your numbers were and the questions that they asked and was answered. And the judge also had a young man with him that day who was job shadowing. I thought, what a great time to be job shadowing when things are going perfect, you know. So, but anyway, that was a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. And just to add on that a little bit financially, the county's doing really well, even though the challenges that we face each and every day with the drug epidemic and the cost of having to really combat the drug epidemic. So I'm proud of us all and all of our department heads and our employees for their due diligence in being financially responsible. And it shows whenever we have audits like that, and we still see a little bit of an increase in our bottom line. So on a year from the previous year. So it's good. Thanks, guys. First is Madison County Solid Waste 5-year plan. Scott.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Another 5 years has come and gone, and our 5-year plan update. I'll give you a little historical background. Solid waste regulations in the mid-90s started requiring all county governments to have a 5-year solid waste management plan. This plan encompasses our practices in solid waste management with management of garbage as well as recycling management as well. It is required by state, by the State Division of Waste Management, and requires an update every 5 years. And this is the second update that I've done for this plan. We've incorporated basically the same information from the previous plan to keep rolling with how we're doing things and practicing with our waste management. So,
And this, guys, will be Resolution 1732. This is adopting the Madison County Solid Waste Management Plan for 2018 through 2022.
that is correct, sir.
And I saw where both of the city councils actually followed that.
City of Berea passed it last week, and then I'll be at the City Commission for Richmond tonight.
Good.
Scott, I'd just like to commend you on a good job you're doing with the solid waste. And it seemed like, if we've got any trash issues or garbage or brush or dead animals around, y'all keep them cleaned up and keep the county looking nice. And I just want to commend you on a good job.
When we all hear about it, we take care of it. So
Appreciate you.
Not to mention a few extra couches here and there.
they tend to show up from time to time, and my staff does a great job. So I'll give them a shout out as well. My staff helps out and makes me looks good as well. So that they're an intricate part of the team. So.
And we got to thank the City of Richmond, maybe the City of Berea a little bit too when it comes to couches. Sometimes you don't want to get too close to a couch, and so they got a thumb on their backhoe that they can pick it up and lift it in our truck for us.
That's correct. And we've got a thumb on our backhoe now that we've
Yeah.
used before.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I just call Willie and he helps me out.
Yeah,
So.
that's great.
Thanks, Scott.
Guys, at this time I need a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1732, which is our Madison County Solid Waste Management Plan for 2018 through 2022.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Buckin?
Yes.
Mr. Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Guys, next is to award the 2017-18 charitable giving grants. This is, okay.
You'll take it off.
Are you here for the detention center?
Yes.
Sorry, buddy. Some reason it got left off of mine.
Is yours
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Number 2.
Here, you can have this.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. So this is Madison County Detention Center policies.
Yes. Yes, and we're here to go over it, or
Greg has made the changes that I reviewed the old jail policy that the previous meeting we passed, approved that policy subject to any kind of additions or corrections that I recommended. I had met with both Greg and Jailer Thomas and went through the changes that I suggested. They have made all those changes. And I reviewed the changes, the new policy, and it all incorporates all the changes that you suggested. So it's a solid policy, and it meets all the statutory regulations that it's required to, and so I'm comfortable with the policy as it's been amended.
Okay. Have fiscal court members, have we reviewed this?
Well, I haven't seen the update version of it, but if county attorney says it's all in there, I'll take his word for it. Well, we had a lot of things that it wasn't that they were wrong. It was just reporting issues and a lot of syntax things and stuff like that. A lot of it was just simple stuff that in the table of contents it didn't match up to where it was at. There was a lot of easy things like that to fix, but if you're good on all that.
We did. I went through all of the different emails that had been sent by the magistrates and made sure that those corrections were included in the update. So all that's been done.
Good. That is great. So at this time, this will be approve the amendment
Correct.
to the 2017-18 Madison County Detention Centers Policies and Procedures Manual. So I need a motion and a second to approve.
Good. Motion to move the detention centers policy for 2017 and 18.
Second then.
No discussion. Call the roll.
Mr. Bodkin?
Yes.
Mr. Barger? Yes. Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, guys, for keeping me in line. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Next, award 2017-18 charitable giving grants. Obviously, we started a charitable giving program when we first came into office, and it's actually gone really well. I feel like we have a review team that's made up of Colleen, Cheryl Cross, and Phyllis Adams that actually reviews all the applications to the grants. This year, you all have seen the list recommending the awarding of the money to all these different entities. And if you will, I need a motion and a second to approve the charitable giving grants.
Motion to approve the charitable giving grants for 2017.
Second that. Judge, I noticed on there the hospice, known as the Habitat, did not receive any monetary funding, but the old house that we took in from the condemned down on Ruby Joe Ward's place, we contributed and donated all those materials out of that old house to the Habitat, anything they could use in that house. So we thought that was our part of the contribution to the Habitat for this year.
That's right. Yeah, and I want to thank Kenny too for helping us. Obviously, you're president, right?
Board president.
Yeah, board president. So thank you for your service there and to working with us and
Well,
working
we
this
appreciate
out.
you thinking of us. And while I've got a chance, anybody that has anything remodeling the kitchen, anything going on at your house, Habitat will come and demill that for you. They'll take it apart and haul it off. And we don't reuse this stuff. We sell it at our restore out in the mall.
Yeah.
So it's a direct cash
Flow back to you all.
flow into us. Yeah, and that house is, they're still down there getting things out of the house. It's been
And then that money,
it's a great thing.
that money you use it back towards, I'm
Yes, sir.
assuming,
It goes
construction.
right back into construction.
Yeah. So, all right. So I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is second reading of ordinance 1717. This is to amend the administrative code on the fraternization policy.
Yep.
It was close, right?
And that's on page 33, and there have not been any changes since the first reading.
Y'all had a chance to look at that?
Yeah, that was, it was just good timing to add that to the administrative policy with everything that was going on. That section is very well written. I want to give you credit for that. So anyway, it was good timing. That's very well written, the way that's put in there, and that's a nice job. Good.
I think you need to share that with their legislators and government officials in Washington too, so.
Thanks, Rachel. At this time, I need a motion and a second to approve the second reading of ordinance 1717.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is first reading of ordinance 1718. This is a land use change, 3575 Colonel Road from UC4 IC, Urban Corridor Interstate Commercial, to UC4 Urban Corridor General Commercial for 1.23 acres of land.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bert.
Good morning.
Do y'all have any questions about this? This is basically just dropping the interstate commercial designation from a piece of property that's already zoned commercial. The applicant or the owner wants to build some mini warehouses on that property, and that's not permitted in that interstate commercial zone. When he drops that interstate commercial designation, it'll allow him to do that.
Let me, let me read the finding of fact too,
Okay.
real quick, just so everybody's understands it. The Madison County Planning Commission held a public hearing on Tuesday, November the 21st, 2017, to consider a land use change request application from interstate commercial to general commercial. The applicant's request stated that their justification for the proposed change, being the existing zoning classification given to the property, is inappropriate, and the proposed zoning classification is appropriate and in keeping with the comprehensive plan. Therein, a finding of fact was made by the commission that the property's size and location is not conducive to interstate commercial use, and that the said existing zoning classification was inappropriate, and that the proposed land use map amendment is in agreement with the comprehensive plan of the Madison County and appropriate for this property. Whereas Madison County Planning Commission, upon hearing testimony, made a motion with unanimous consent to recommend to the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the land use change request from UC4 IC to UC4.
And I'll just add to that, we haven't had any concerns, expressed to us from the public or any of the adjoining property owners. Nobody's had any problems.
And just for everybody's knowledge, this sits right between the Central Kentucky Truck and Trailer and that.
Whitehall Baptist Church.
No, it's not Whitehall Baptist Church. It's a Holiness Church.
That's right. Whitehall's on the other side of the Holiness.
Yeah,
Right.
there's actually Madison County Utilities has a big water tower there too, and so it sits really right in between the water tower and the truck and trailer
And the
sales.
church actually owns a vacant lot between them
where
and
they
this
have that
property.
little pavilion or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
They used to have a flea market there
Yeah.
on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I think initially that property was zoned incorrectly because that lot was never big enough for
It probably was,
interstate.
yeah, and that was one of the things that came up
Construction.
during the meeting. It's
Yeah.
not really big enough to, for a hotel or something, that you might see on an interstate
Right.
exchange. It's not big enough for that anyway.
I make a motion that we accept, change the ordinance 1718 land use change.
Second.
All right. No discussion. Call the roll.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Botkin?
Yes.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bert. Appreciate it. Next is resolution 1731. This is environmental and animal care fees. Scott?
Good morning, everyone, again. We are updating our fees. Everything is staying the same, but we are wanting to add in that a Madison County government employees $10 adoption fee rate for if they're going to adopt animals, all the Madison County government employees, with a limit of 2 animals per year, a $10 adoption rate. That's the only change.
Do I have a motion and a second for resolution 1731, environmental and animal care fees?
So move.
Second.
No discussion, call roll.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Master Berger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Staley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Next is appointment to the Madison County Extension Board. This time I recommend the fiscal court approving the appointment of Connie Baird to the Madison County Extension Board.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion, call the roll.
Master Berger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Judge Staley.
Yes. Also to the Madison County Extension Board, I recommend the appointment of Bethany Smith.
Motion to accept Bethany Smith to the Madison County Extension Board.
Second.
Have a motion and second. No discussion, call the roll.
Master Berger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Judge Staley.
Yes. Next, the update from Chris in our IT department, I think on our new fiber line.
That's it.
And anything else that you want to talk about?
Thought I got off easy there. Don't yell at me or I'm gonna adjust the microphone. Anyway, so the fiber is completed. So we were using that. We've already seen the benefits of it already. It's reduced some of the overhead and some of our network struggles. But of course, we still continue to have issues. Most of you are dealing with those, and we continue to try to solve those. With the fiber project, we did end up 270 feet over our included rock coverage, so that did cost us a little extra money, but it was covered in the original $518,000 that we got a lot of pieces to finish it. So that actually finished under budget, so that's pretty good. So the easiest way to explain this to you is that we're logically at the EOC right now. So the equipment is still physically at 321, but logically everything's operating out of the EOC. What will happen in December is we will start to actually physically move that equipment. And that's when we'll start to see the benefits of combining those physical resources together. We're not currently there, but come December we will be. So December's gonna be a completely busy month for us, moving that stuff and some other things we got going on. Some of our issues that we're having, people are having telephone issues, like the golf course, I think they're going up and down, and Phil called me this morning and didn't answer. Sorry, man. I'm sure it's probably related to the phones. Most of those things are, she called from my cell phone, right? Yeah.
You weren't
I love it when they call from their desk phone and tell us it doesn't work great. You just called me further. Most of those problems are related to the new routers. So when the fiber went in, we put in new routers. It's the same platform that we've always used, but it's a new version. With that, there are lots of bugs that we weren't aware of, and there's lots of configuration changes that we don't know how to do yet, so we're still learning those things. So we're moving on with that. Probably the two biggest things that everybody has been talking about is the two big outages that we had. The one that happened on November 1st is when we actually physically moved everybody to that fiber. So that was about a 34-hour straight work period that Ryan and Jonathan and I put in to get that all moved over, put back up, and everybody working. During the process of that, our vendor made a misconfiguration in one of the switches, which took down 911 dispatch for probably 8 hours. Now that wasn't radios or telephones or any of that stuff, so you're still able to call 911, but it was the action of being able to create a CAD call inside of that. Those things happen. We specifically did not do things to prevent that, so that we didn't want to move their equipment. We specifically set that aside to not do it, so we didn't break it, and it ended up breaking anyways. That's just kind of the life we live, is you do your best to not screw up something, and you think you've done everything, and you end up there. So we spent about 34 hours straight trying to get that one straightened out and everything there. By 8 o'clock that morning, most people had computers to use. They may have been missing some applications or things like that, but they at least were operational. The last one that happened was November 7th. One of the biggest steps to combining everything is changing our network storage system, getting them on the same network segment so that we can use them together instead of separately. That process was supposed to be easy. You shut the stuff down, you turn it off, move it, and you bring it back up. That doesn't work like that, right, I guess. 38 and a half hours later, straight work. Ryan and Jonathan and I got to go home after we fixed that one. That one at 8 o'clock, there was computers available to employees, but they didn't really have anything to use but email. But at least they had something to use. What that ended up being, not that you really probably care, but it was a VMware issue where when we installed the software, it made a registry change, and we didn't have access to change that registry setting. It's actually a flaw in the installation. After hours of trying to figure it out, we finally figured out what the issue was. So that resolved that one. Things we're continuing to address. Most people are probably aware of or have heard somebody complain about the phones in the annex. It started out twofold: digital extensions and IP phones that live in our outlanding areas and in our judge's office and planning and those places like that. They were rebooting randomly. Come to find out, the phone system was rebooting randomly, so it was doing what's called a cold start. So we have a contract with integration partners that actually helps me service the system and maintain the parts. They determined that the processor in the phone system was going bad. That's what was causing the issue. At the same time, users in the annex that use digital hardline telephones were having issues where the phones are going off. They were screeching, ringing for no reason, ringing, there's nobody on the other end. It seemed to be a domino effect. It started with 1, it ended up being 3, then it was 7, and now it's like 28, I think, extensions that are not working currently. Give you a little bit of information about how that happened is we placed the order on November 16th to replace the processor. Avaya screwed up. It's supposed to be here in 24 hours. They never placed the order. So a whole day got wasted not being here. It finally arrived. I switched it. It solved the issues with the phone system rebooting and the IP phones rebooting, but it didn't solve the issue of, like Judge phones, the digital extensions squealing, juvenile services, those kinds of people that have phones in that building. It was determined then that the module was bad, and we had to replace the module. So we ordered a module that showed up in 24 hours like it's supposed to. Yay, they sent the wrong one. They sent a 30B, not a 30A. I said, all right, I've got to fix this. What do I do? Oh, you can still use it. You just have to recable. Oh, great, we'll go over. So Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I went over at about 4 o'clock with Ryan and Jonathan, and we were going to recable it. They called and said, you can't do that. It won't work with the model phone that you have. I said, okay, I'm going to call, he says, my guy says, I'm going to call Avaya directly so I can get this taken care of. I said, great. Comes back about 45 minutes later and says, it'll be here in 4 hours because your account's screwed up. You actually pay for 4-hour parts and service. There should have been somebody on site in 4 hours. I said, I've been telling you that, but you told me I was crazy. So I was right. Good job, Chris. So they called back and said, we'll be here at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night with your part and a person. And I was like, it's Thanksgiving, man. All right, whatever. Colleen had called me. She's like, I know you're already home. I said, yeah, right, I'm going to be here till 9. And she was really not happy with me, but that's okay. They called at 8 o'clock and said, sorry, we're not coming. I know you're not coming. Well, to use your 4-hour parts and service, you have to have a 25% outage, and 25% of your phone system is not out, which they're probably right. It wasn't. I said, listen, I didn't want to come back anyway, so that's fine. If nobody's using it, it's the holiday. We'll bring it tomorrow. I'm not working on Thanksgiving. Sorry, I've been fighting it for a week for you screwing up. I'm not coming in on Thanksgiving to fix it. How about Friday? Nope. I said, I want it here at 8 a.m. Monday morning. No problem. We'll have a technician and a phone system there at 8 a.m. So I busted my butt to get here at 8 o'clock. Most of you know that's hard for me to do. Got here at 10 minutes to 8, 8:15. No part, no technician. Phone rings at 8:20. This is Rick from Louisville and Avaya. I just got the ticket that I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. I said, yeah, it's 8:20. You're a little late. Well, the other bad news is we didn't order your part. Okay, so what's that mean? I said, you should be able to courier one here from Tennessee within 3 hours, right? No, there's none here. They're all on the West Coast. They'll have to come out of national storage, so it'll be 24 hours. So all you poor people that have been dealing with broken phones in the annex, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best, but I can't help when they don't deliver the right stuff in a timely manner. It's supposed to be here via FedEx at 10:30, so if you see me cut out of here at 10:30, that's why. And a person has come to do it, so it will work today because he's not allowed to leave until it works. I may need the sheriff's help.
Is there a other company out there that can provide us a service?
Unfortunately, that is Avaya, which is the manufacturer of the equipment. So we have an agreement with integration partners that actually interfaces to Avaya on our behalf. So it's not integration partners is the issue, it's actually the manufacturer of the equipment. The only thing we can do there is get rid of it and buy something new, and you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So
Is there anybody else having this kind of trouble, Chris, or just?
Not with that, and the issue with that module is that it's what's called an Amphenol module, and it's old school is the best way to put it. When I bought that phone system, it's been, probably 8 years ago when we bought that?
6 or 7.
To save money, what we decided to do was to buy an Avaya so that the new Avaya system could still use the old Avaya phones in the annex, because those phones are about $200 a pop. So it saved us quite a bit of money. There's about 100 phones in that building. So it saved us a bunch of money not buying the phones. We could reuse them all as great dandy. Well, Avaya keeps slowly depleting that stock of those parts because they don't want people to use it. So what we ran into is there's only 30 in the United States. that they could even give us, and they're all in the national warehouse. So they thought they were doing the right thing by sending a B, but that's just not the case. So we've already talked to Judd, and Judd's going to be moving to the new types of phones here very shortly. We've already got that approved, and we're ordering equipment, so that'll take care of that problem. We've really had zero issues with the phone system since we've installed it. The first thing we had was about a year and a half ago. We lost a part about when you first came into office. We lost the entire PBA office. All the phones went out. At that time, we didn't have a contract with anybody. It was we buy the parts, we figure out how to fix it. We just started charging all of our customers just a little service fee of $25 or $30 a month to help offset the cost of this contract. It's the first time we really had to use it. And of course, now we go to use it and the parts aren't there. But it's okay. It'll be here today. It'll be fixed. I'm sorry that is.
Was any of the water that got in down there, did that have anything to do with it?
It was not wet on that side of the rack.
Okay.
Now, the only thing that Ryan and I keep coming back to is that wall where all the cables are was wet. We looked through it pretty closely Wednesday while we were down there trying to move cables around. I don't see any oxidation, so I don't think that's what it is.
Okay.
If this doesn't fix it, then it could very well be. But everything was fine. It's been fine. So
yeah,
I think it's just failing equipment.
Right. Okay.
So that's that one.
From my contract writing and negotiating days in the Army, generally speaking, if you get a 4-hour response time for maintenance, you generally pay a premium for that.
Yeah.
And when we used to write those contracts like that, we also included a penalty clause. Any chance we have a penalty clause, you don't make it in X number of hours, like you say, you pay a penalty for that.
I will certainly check. The issue stems from they didn't have that on our account correctly. It's listed as though we were a 4-hour because the guy that called at 8:15 Monday morning said, if we knew that you were a 4-hour customer, we would have had parts stocked at Winchester. But we didn't know that as a VIA for whatever reason, so we didn't stock parts there. The closest they were was somewhere in Tennessee. But yeah, you can bet we'll be reviewing this once this is all said and done to kind of figure out who was at fault and what we can get back from it. All said, we pay I think $1,900 a year for it. That's really not a lot of money when it's an $85,000 phone system. So I'm pretty upset with the service that they've given us, and they've heard me a couple times this week already. Heard me get already. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but I did because it was, I'm the one with the black eye, right? Not them. Unfortunately, that's just what happens. But the good news here is that those phones will be fixed by 10:30 or 11 this morning, however long it takes that guy to replace the piece of equipment. The good news is that we've been working with the county attorney to bring them on board. We're going to see some cost savings in their office, and they're going to see better equipment. So I think they're happy with the route we're headed. We've moved their website onto the county website, which has saved them some money as well because they were paying for that. We've just signed the contract with Madison, Southern Madison Utilities. I think we've mentioned that, but we actually did our first call to them. It was successful. We were able to solve their issue for them. And we're currently working with them to redo their online credit card payment system. The one that they have actually can't take it online. They have to do it over phone. So we're looking into those things with them. And our snowplow tracking system Trax is operational as of yesterday. So if it snows, we will be able to track that fleet like we did in the past. One good thing that happened there is we did enter into a new contract with AT&T. It's called AT&T Control Center. And now we've got the SIM cards that cost us 75 cents a month if the truck is off. Currently, we're paying $10 a month per truck, regardless if we use it or not. So we went this route, 75 cents a month per truck just to be on the plan, and then it auto-adjusts based on the usage that they have. So it was $500 to get in. We'll be 2 months, and we'll already recoup our cost. That's a pretty good ROI.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's great. Scott and Herbie are down there flopping out the SIM cards for us in all 27 trucks to make sure that all the new cards are in and working. So that's where we're at. We're extremely busy. There's 199 open tickets, and I think they gave me 50 more as I walked through the door this morning. So we're busy. We're looking for another individual. We're working on that to kind of help offset, because I've learned in the last few weeks I cannot be in 4 places at once. I try. I just can't do it.
So I was saving it for my comment time, but since you're here, it just seems appropriate. I want to go out of the way to thank you, not having heard the whole story when I showed up, because every time we do some kind of an upgrade or a password change, every device I have synced together automatically doesn't work. Most of it's the operator, I'll admit that. But I just so happened to catch Chris on a Friday down at the road department down there, and on the back of my truck, he's up there working the magic there. So I'm back online, and and then Ryan finished it off earlier in the week, the next week. But, so given your schedule, I certainly appreciate you going out of the way to do all of that.
Absolutely.
And, above and beyond on your time there. Colleen should be mad. You shouldn't work them kind of hours. We certainly appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you. Ryan told me not to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, Ryan. Thank you to Ryan and Jonathan. I couldn't do it without them. I know everybody says that, but they are step and lock with me 38, 39 hours straight. Jonathan gets a little crazy about 26 hours in. Sorry, Jonathan, but he about lost his mind. We sent him home. Yeah, he just couldn't hack it, but he'll get used to it. So those things don't happen, but this seems like it happens every year or so. We end up working a hectic schedule for a few weeks, and then things will calm down. So things are getting better. We continue to work every day, but everybody's problems, number one, right? So we have a pecking order, and we're just working through it. Anybody else got any questions?
We appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Well, the phone system, what's the end of life? How much longer we have on the?
On the 500, you're probably good for another 10 years. It's those
Okay.
digital extensions that are the main issue. The good thing is with this fiber consolidation, CSEP has a brand new Mac Daddy phone system that we plan to move everybody to.
Okay.
So
Good.
that'll help us move. That's low on my priority list, but there'll be cost savings in the monthly fees and the equipment and those kinds of things. So we're going to move there anyways. That's where we're headed. So that thing we'll probably be on another couple of years and it'll be gone.
Yeah.
But it's been a good one for us.
That's good.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
All
brother.
right, you got it.
Next, personnel, Battlefield Golf Course. This shows on the agenda promotion. It actually is taking our interim director position and making it a permanent position. Gary Vanderhoff has obviously been our interim director for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, somewhere May, so 6 months. And it would be my recommendation that we hire him permanent to the county as the director of the Battlefield Golf Course.
So move.
Is there any change in the salary for that?
Yes, it'll follow our classification schedule, and I believe that it would start out at 50.
I'll second that.
So the report that we got on that just gave us an update on what's happened up at the golf course recently. Looks really good. You've done a lot of good work out there. We see a lot of reductions in cost, and so that's definitely a step in the right direction. Anything happens good out at the golf course, we want to pat you on the back.
Thank you. Yeah, we
So
still
that's-
have plenty
Hey, Gary.
to do. Okay. Good morning. Yeah, thank you. We still have plenty of work to do out there, but I have to thank Chris after hearing him. I spent about 20 years in information technology. Now I know why I'm out of it. But yeah, and I have to thank the judge for all of his support for the course, Colleen, everyone here at the county's been fantastic. So far, I've asked a lot of questions of people, proposed a lot of crazy things, and the feedback has been fantastic. So far, so good, and we still have plenty that you'll see coming in the future for the golf course.
Well, it looks like a lot of it's headed in the right direction because that is in the 4th district, and my phone doesn't ring near as much when the golf balls aren't hitting the homes
That's
as
good.
they are when they are hitting the homes.
Yes.
So you're doing a great job out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it. Look forward to continue working with you in the future. Things have been very exciting out there. Obviously, the financial impact is great, turning things around there. So it's good. So I have a motion and a second. If no more discussion, call the roll.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Master Bucking?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Judge Taylor? Oh, said Reagan. Same thing. Judge Reagan Taylor, that's it.
Yes.
Larry not being here finally tripped me up.
Chief, we got a personnel, a new fire department hire.
Yes, sir. Propose that we hire Harold Logan King, goes by Logan. He's in the back wearing a blue shirt there.
You will stand up.
As a firefighter 1 at $7.25 an hour. His official start date will be 12/13. His first day on shift will be 12/14. Because 12/13 is the start of the pay period.
And he's got some of his hours, is that correct?
Yes,
From our meeting we had yesterday.
him and I talked. He's got about 100 hours of training, but he's got about 60 towards his 150. So we're, like I said, bringing him in as firefighter 1, which is in the trainee status at $7.25 an hour, and we'll get him the rest of his hours to his 400.
And the committee was made up with Scott Tussey, Barney Alexander, and yourself?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I move we hire Harold King, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
As a new firefighter for the county.
I second that.
No discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Bodkin?
Yes.
Master Berger?
Yes.
Master Tudor?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thanks, Chief.
Yep. One other quick thing, like Glenna said earlier, our fire engines are going to be delivered today. They should be delivered about 11 o'clock over at the EMA building. So if y'all would like to come out, touch, look, and actually see them for yourself, you'd be more than welcome to come over and ooh and ah over them.
Yeah.
We get to drive those, Chief?
If you want to drive them, you can drive them.
We better run that through my office. Let you work the flash out.
Thanks, Chief.
Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah, appreciate it. Next, the judge's report. It's great to announce the Madison Southern football team is playing in the Kentucky 5A State Football Championship this coming Saturday. So, man, they've had a great season. They've come on very strong here at the end of the season. Very proud of their representation in high school football. The game will be this Saturday, December the 2nd at 8 p.m. And that's at Commonwealth Stadium. I think they've changed the name to Kroger Stadium, but most of us will know it as Commonwealth Stadium in Kroger Field, yeah. Oh, it's still Commonwealth Stadium.
Still Commonwealth Stadium. Kroger.
Man, I was just over there the other day. It says Kroger on it, on the stadium. Yeah. Well, I thought they changed it to Kroger because, but anyway. All right. So Commonwealth Stadium, Kroger Field, they're in Lexington over at the University of Kentucky, and that so happened that the Berea Parade was that same night, and so they've actually moved the Berea Parade and rescheduled it for December the 9th at 6 p.m. So anybody that was going to be in the parade or be going to the parade, they've actually moved it from the 2nd to the 9th. So just to reiterate, the football championship game against Covington Catholic will be December the 2nd at 8 p.m. at Commonwealth Stadium, and the Berea Parade has been rescheduled to December the 9th at 6 p.m. Richmond's Christmas Parade will be this Friday, December the 1st, beginning at 6:30 p.m. We will be doing the lighting of the Madison County Christmas tree prior to the parade at 6:30. We always read the Christmas story too to all the kids, so anybody that would like to come out will be at the courthouse before the parade, and then everybody can get in line wherever their spots are for watching the parade. It's been a great event the last couple of years that we've done it. Kentucky State Police's annual Cram the Cruiser food drive will continue through Monday, December the 11th. You may drop off your donations to the Post 7 there on the Richmond Bypass and at Kroger in Richmond. Richmond Police Department's Feed the Families food drive will be now until the end of the year at the Richmond Police Cruiser stationed at Walmart. So I guess they'll have cruisers fill up at Walmart that you can drop off your donations there. Richmond Area Arts Council's Breakfast with Santa will be this coming Saturday, December 2nd. If you want any more information on that, you can call 624-4242. There will be a county-wide blood drive on Saturday, December the 2nd. The blood mobile will be at the Richmond Walmart from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. and then they'll be traveling to Berea, and they'll be at Walmart in Berea from 11 to 3. Madison County Band's Holiday Brass Concert will be Tuesday, December the 5th at 6:30, and that'll be at the EKU Center for the Arts. Madison Community Band's Holiday Concert will be Sunday, December 17th at 3:30 p.m. at the First Baptist Church on the Eastern Bypass. Comments from department heads? Nope. Comment? Yep.
Training aids. Real quick, I want to thank everyone who helped me during the plane crash of 1972 interpretive marker dedication. Several members of the court, several members of in attendance were there. I never would have thought we would have had 150 to 175 people there. Biggest problem, we didn't have a PA system. That's on me. And isn't that right, Randall? So that's on me. If we do something this big again, we'll make sure we have it. One neat thing that happened, of the 10 victims, we had 6 families represented. And that's pretty good. It still is a little bit raw in the community. And here we are, Madison High played in championship game, and here this next weekend, Madison Southern's playing championship game 45 years later. So, but I do want to thank everybody. The Richmond Parks and Recreation really helped me. We got this done.
Yeah.
So, Operation Stars and Stripes is ending today, and numerous groups and civic organizations, many individuals donated their time to write several hundred Christmas cards to dozens of DVDs to send to our military personnel, both in country and abroad, and even a class from Western Kentucky University sent about 60 cards of the volunteer we have teaches at Western, and they like that project. Now for my training aid, Christmas is coming up. We have to have our Christmas stocking. So if we get down our Christmas stocking, if I keep Glenn up and getting in the Christmas stocking, we have socks. And starting today, we're having our annual sock drive at the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center. And this will run through December the 19th. We're asking for new prepackaged socks, the athletic type, the crew cut. We'll take whatever you bring us, but if you're cold, and you don't need footies. And we also need them for men, women, and children. And they can be dropped off at the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30, or Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the socks go to the Richmond Salvation Army's homeless shelter. They aren't sold or anything like that. They do stay local. And if you have any questions, just feel free to get hold of us.
Phil, is there any way you could have a drop-off box maybe here at the courthouse or somewhere in the Richmond area rather than at the only one
Well,
out
we
of
could,
Battlefield?
but people from Berea that bring them, it's a medium,
Well, you've got one out of Battlefield if we had one in the Richmond area. or something.
right. It also drives my visitorship up
Okay.
during a bad time.
Please
During
go
when
to
we
Battlefield
down.
and visit the.
That's right, and a lot of people come out,
Christmas
well, I didn't
decorations
realize
that
this
Phil's
was
put
here,
up,
and so we gives them another opportunity.
I understand that.
So, maybe we'll find something else to collect here sometime, so.
Thanks, Philip. Appreciate it. Any other department heads? All right, Master comments? Rob?
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Seems like our department heads are all doing well. I'm impressed with how they work together on different projects and get things done when it takes more than one department to get it done. Everything seems to be running pretty smooth. That all got good.
Thanks, Ross. John?
I just want to finish up with saying that thanks to Willie and all the road crew, all the blacktop in the 3rd District is laid for this year, and I apologize for 3rd District being a little behind on the last one getting the blacktop, but the roads that we approved and requested have been done, and they're looking good, and I'd like to thank Willie for overseeing that and his crew, and next year maybe we can get up a little bit closer to the top of the list. We can talk to Mr. Botkin now, switching places a few places.
No.
But
Don't do it. No.
I just want to also congratulate the Madison Southern football team on their win on the heading to the state championship Saturday night. And if there's any way you can go, the more support they get from Madison County, the better their chances are in supporting them, and maybe they can get a win over Lexington Catholic for the state championship. That would be great, to bring a state football championship back to Madison County. Has that ever been done? Does anybody know? I don't think Madison County's ever had a state football.
Just unless Madison did it generations ago.
Okay, all right.
I'm pretty sure that Madison did have
I
a
think
state
Madison
championship.
did, but Central.
Madison High.
Madison High, right, yeah.
Covington Catholic, yeah.
And like the judge said, because of the football game Saturday night, the brick Christmas parade has been moved to the 9th, which is the following Saturday. So try to make both those appearances if you can. I just want to say a special thank you to our Sheriff's Department, Richmond City Police, their state police, for handling the situation over at Madison Central on the shooting threat that we had yesterday, that nothing came of that. I think swift action from all the departments and just being vigilant from from the teachers and all the principals and the administration in the Madison County schools, and not giving in and not canceling school because of a threat. I think we need to stand up for our community, stand up for what we think is right, and not cower down to threats that people make against us as a community. I'd like to also remind our young people that these kind of threats will not be tolerated, and they will be prosecuted to the fullest. So please do not cower this low and make this kind of threat. You not only put fear through our community, but you're ruining your life for several years down the road by making this kind of comment and this kind of threats, even though it may just have been a threat and it might have been a wild hair that you had at the moment. Please think before you make some kind of threat or some kind of commitment. Public or on, if you make it on the social media, we're going to find it. It's going to get out there. I promise you. Chris is working on that kind of stuff right now. I promise you. But today is Giving Tuesday, so please, if you can, give to your local community, some of the organizations that your community is involved with, your food banks, your charity organizations that help your children for Christmas. I think everybody has the ability to give on a small amount. We've got 88,000 people here in Madison County. Can you imagine if each individual would contribute $1? What kind of contribution that would make to some of our children organizations during Christmas time? So be thankful for what we have. This is Christmas season. Share a little bit of the wealth that you've been given. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, John. Tom?
Not to beat the Madison Southern accomplishments to death, but I just want to say, and I hope they can use this for motivation. I read an article the other day that said that public schools can't play with private schools. I'd like to see some country boys go over there Saturday night and have a really good night and bring a state championship home. So I hope they can use that as motivation. Of course, I've already patted Ryan and Chris on the back. Once again, I want to thank them for everything that they do for us and have done for us and the hours that they spend. Willie and Scott, I want to thank you guys for taking care of projects. And what happens a lot of time is I'll go down to the road department, somebody will call me about something, I'll go down to the road department, I'll talk to Willie or Scott or whoever's down there, and 9 times out of 10, before I can get back a day or two later and follow up and see if it's done, somebody's called me to thank for already being out there and finishing with it. So, you know, that's a great testament to you guys. I know you're busier than one-eyed cat watching 2 rat holes down there, Willie, with the bridges and everything's going on, but you do a great job down there, and we really appreciate that. Also, I get the same type of response with Brandon McIntosh over at the State Garage. I've had several projects here just recently that he has responded to and finished up and got positive feedback. He didn't always hear it from them, but those people that they go out and he fixes, you know, and I've said this time and time again, most people don't have big needs. Most people have small needs. They've got their culvert stopped up, or they need something unclogged, or they need something dug, a ditch cleared out. They need simple things. And of course, they run out and they do it as quick as they can, and I always get the feedback on that. So I want to try to just make sure that I pass that on to those guys and pat them on the back. Scott, once again, thank you for the cleanup, and not just going out and picking up the couches and the trash, but also I saw in some of the accounts where that folks have been going out and picking up trash across the. We had quite a bit of that this time that was in our payments, and so that's good, and you can tell it as you're driving around in the county. You can see it, and so that's a really good program we've got down there, and I appreciate that. And I was also going to say that Willie, I'm sure that the trucks are getting ready for snow, because I saw a lot of different things in there that associated items that were repairs for trucks that look like they are getting ready to hit the road. So we're not going to have snow this year. That was. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Hey, it's supposed to be 50 next week. I've told this story to the judge, but I just want to share it real quickly, and I won't beat this one to death either. But several years ago, I was in a briefing, and there was probably 4,000 to 5,000 military officers in this briefing. And a guy walks out on the stage, and he says, when I go into a room full of people, he said, I want to be the dumbest person in the room. And I thought about what he's saying. I'm thinking, what is this guy's talking about? I mean, he's a military genius, not to mention just a really sharp individual all the way around. And then he goes on to explain it. You know, he wants to be surrounded with subject matter experts who can advise him and point him in the right direction. And that person was Colin Powell. And I have a lot of respect for him, probably one of our greatest Army generals, and I never forgot that. So I said all of that to say this. One of my pet peeves that has been killing me here for 6 months now is a project that's going on out on Menelus Road. Now, Bert's heard this, Marty's heard this, Judge heard this. I've been in everybody's office over this. And, you know, we have codes. We have an international property maintenance code that we follow. We have KRS regulations that we follow. We have our county enforcement procedures that we also follow. I've been through every one of them documents, and in all of those, the only thing I want to say about this, because I guess it's been solved from the last thing that I saw, but what I want to say about this is this. In all of those documents, I've never seen the word grandfather used in any of those documents. So I'm just telling you that this is Tom Botkin's opinion on this. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, and we need to do something about it if at all possible. All right, so I'm not done beating you guys to death about this. We're going to talk about it some more because, you know, the people that live out there in the area, and you all know what I'm talking about. No, I don't. There's folks out on Menelus that have a storage car facility. Wrecked cars have been stored out there around their property. And in early spring, when I started out there, there were 17 cars. Today, there's over 50 cars out there. And it's an eyesore. There's just a lot of problems with that it needs to be fixed. I mean, it's not good for property values. It's not good for a lot of things. And unfortunately, it appears that our regulations tie your hands on what can be done out there. All right? Something needs to be done out there. I'm not quitting with that one. So I apologize for beating you guys up to death, Bert. I mean, I know you get tired of hearing this one, but I'm going to stay with that. The other one that I have a burn about, and Rachel's not here today, and that's okay because we've approved it, but the other one I have the real burn about it is FMLA. Now, if you want to shut me up on something, then show it to me in writing. If you show it to me in writing, I'll just shut up. I may not agree with what we're talking about at the time, but if you show it to me in writing, I'll shut up and turn around, walk away, and go on and leave it alone. FMLA is a sore spot for me. Because we, Judge, as you know very well, and everybody else knows, we run our FMLA concurrently with sick leave and a whole bunch of other things. And to me, that subvents the whole purpose of FMLA. FMLA was an act that was created to save an individual's job for up to 12 weeks. And if it was a military person involved as a caregiver, then it's extended to 26 weeks. And so, you know, I think, and even the way that we do it, if a person actually wanted to, and I'm talking about one of our employees, if they were sick and they had something an operation or something that they were going to be out, but all they would really have to do is tell your super they're going to be out, and they've got a medical procedure. They use their sick leave. If they get to the end of it, you can draw a vacation. You have to use your vacation time. You have to use your sick leave. You can draw sick leave from other individuals. Our programs also cover that. At the end of that time, declare they want to use FMLA. There's 12 weeks, right on the end of that. But most of them come up front and they say, listen, I want to get FMLA, I've got to have a procedure done, and they do that. But that's, to me, it just defeats the whole purpose of that. That's just, but anyway, that's enough about that. A couple of weeks ago, and this is my last thing, just a couple of weeks ago, we kind of skimped past Kenny because he wasn't here that day, but you guys recently had a clean audit over in your office, and we want to pat you on the back for that. It's a job well done.
Thank you. It's not me. It's my employees, the
Yes,
folks
sir.
that work with me, my coworkers, is the ones to get all the credit for that. We've had some challenges in the past, and we've overcome them, and we are, it's top notch right now. They're doing a great job.
Good. And if you need
Makes me sleep better.
there you go. 200-9765 is my telephone number.
Thanks, Tom. Judd? Yeah.
Just to echo what Chris said, our office has been working with Chris, the IT department here, and it's led to going to be a lot of really nice infrastructure changes at the county attorney's office. So we're going to be upgrading our phone system, upgrading our computer system. It increases our speed, increases our security. There's lots of different things. Making a significant investment with the county, which I think is a good thing for the county attorney's office, and we're excited about the opportunities that's going to lead to for us. And it's been great working with Chris and I over here at the county.
We appreciate your money.
Yeah. I bet you do.
Yeah, we're good. Thanks, Joe. Ken?
Well, I want to say a little something about Chris too. Chris makes his job a lot harder than it has to be. He's one of those employees that you have to stay out of his way instead of trying to push him to get him to do something. And some of these things that happen are where he's trying to improve the whole system. He could just sit down there and, not make any changes, sit down in his office and everything run pretty smoothly. But he's trying to make it better and he's trying to make everything more efficient. And I really appreciate Chris was one of the first people when I got elected that I called and we started talking about what are we going to do here. And he's never failed to help and come up with ideas. But he and Ryan do a great job.
Yep. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it. Sheriff? Yeah. Thanks, Sheriff. Next, comments from the audience. Anybody? No? All right. Next is we need to pay the claims and approve the transfers. I need a motion and a second to do that.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next court date. Everybody needs to pay attention to this. Anybody watching on TV or listening on the radio. But since December is a holiday month with Christmas and New Year's, we will only be having one fiscal court meeting in December. And that'll actually be on the third Tuesday of December, which will be December the 19th.
Didn't we agree that that was going to be on December the 20th, Wednesday? Because of a doctor appointment.
Yes, it's going to be on December the 20th.
Wednesday.
On Wednesday, December the 20th at 9:30, and it'll be right here in Richmond. And that'll be Wednesday, December the 20th, 2017 in Richmond. Thank you, Tom.
Sure.
Appreciate that. It takes a village, right?
Yeah.
Takes a village. At this time, I need a motion second to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
No discussion?
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Mr. Tudor?
Yes.
Mr. Bachman?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes.